Have you ever just looked around at the world and had this feeling that something is fundamentally off? Well, you are definitely not the first person to feel that way. Today we're prying open a treasure chest of secrets from the Gnostics, a group of ancient mystics who came up with one of the most mind-bending explanations for reality you'll ever hear.
This is the question that kept them up at night. I mean, it's a massive paradox, right? If the source of everything is supposed to be perfect and good, then how did we end up with a world so full of suffering, chaos, and decay? The math just doesn't add up.
So instead of trying to find excuses for the world's problems, the Gnostics just leaned right into them. And their answer wasn't some comforting little story. Oh no, it was a complete bombshell that shook the very foundations of religion. Their take? The world isn't flawed by accident, it was designed that way.
Okay, so here's the game plan. We're going to start with why they saw creation itself as a mistake. Then we'll dive into their secret cosmology, a totally different origin story for the universe. From there, we'll see where we fit in, look at some of their forbidden symbols, and finally, we'll chase down the echoes of these ideas through history.
So let's jump right in. Part 1. A flawed creation. For the Gnostics, this wasn't just some abstract philosophical debate. It was their starting point. It's the simple, gut-level observation that the reality we experience just feels wrong.
And you know, this wasn't them being pessimistic. For them, it was just being realistic. They looked at the endless cycles of pain, at the cruelty, the obsession with material things, and they came to a stark conclusion. This world could not be the masterpiece of a perfect God. To them, the physical universe was more like a prison, a cosmic blunder.
So, if the world is a mistake, then who or what made it? And that question throws us headfirst into their secret cosmology. So brace yourselves, because this is where the Gnostic story of creation veers off into some truly wild territory.
Okay, so at the very, very top of the Gnostic universe, there isn't a creator god like you might imagine. There's something way more abstract. This is the true God, a pure, perfect, and remote consciousness. It's so far beyond our reality that one Gnostic teacher, Basilides, actually called it a no-being God, because even to say it exists would be to put a limit on it.
Now, from this unknowable source, a series of divine energies or beings, which they called Aeons, radiated outwards, kind of like ripples spreading out in a perfectly still pond. They had these beautiful abstract names like mind, truth, and life. And all together, these Aeons form what's called the pleroma, the fullness of the divine realm. It's a universe of pure light and spirit.
But somewhere down this chain of divine emanations, something went wrong. A kind of cosmic glitch happened, and a lesser, flawed being popped into existence. This being, sometimes called the Demiurge, was arrogant and, crucially, completely ignorant of the true God in the realm of light above him. And this is the guy the Gnostics said actually created our physical world.
And this chart just lays it out perfectly. You see, in their view, there aren't one God, but two. A high, perfect God of pure spirit and a lower, ignorant God of matter. Now just think about how revolutionary that is. Every major religion at the time was saying the creator of the universe is the one true God. And the Gnostics stepped up and said, nope, that guy, that's not the real God. That's a flawed, jealous imposter who trapped us all in this material mess. It was the ultimate heresy.
So that brings us right to us, humanity. If the cosmos is this tragic drama, what's our role in it? This is where the whole story gets really, really personal.
And here is the big twist. The Gnostics believed that when the Demiurge created humanity, he made a huge mistake. He accidentally trapped a tiny piece of the divine light from that higher realm inside of us, a celestial spark. And this made the creator, Ildebaoth, insanely jealous. Why? Because his own little creation, us, carried a secret connection to a true God he didn't even know existed.
So if you realize you're a divine spark trapped in a prison, how do you get out? The answer for the Gnostics was gnosis. Now, this isn't about reading a bunch of books. Gnosis means knowledge, but it's a deep personal revelation. It's that lightning bolt moment of remembering who you really are, where you came from, and realizing there's a way back to the light.
The Gnostics even had a sort of cosmic roadmap for this tragedy. They imagined the pure soul falling from that divine realm, As it descends through the layers of the cosmos, the 7 planetary spheres, each ruled by one of the Demiurge's cronies, it gets weighed down. It gets clothed in different passions and limitations. From Mars it picks up aggression, from Venus, desire. By the time it finally lands at a physical body on Earth, it's so covered in these material layers that it has completely forgotten its own divine nature.
Okay, so let's get into the forbidden knowledge itself. How did the Gnostics share these incredibly dangerous ideas? Well, you couldn't just publish a book about it. Instead, they used powerful, mysterious symbols, keys that could unlock the secrets of their universe for those who knew how to read them.
And this is probably the most iconic Gnostic symbol of all, Abraxas. He's this amazing composite figure, often with the head of a rooster, the body of a man, and with legs made of serpents. His very name is a magic formula. In Greek, the letters of Abraxas add up to the number 365. That's not random. It represents the days of the year, the cycle of time, and the 365 levels of heaven he rules over. He embodies the totality of everything.
And this is just a classic Gnostic move. I love this. They took the ultimate villain from the book of Genesis, the serpent, and they flipped the story completely on its head. For Gnostic groups like the Ophites, which literally means serpent worshippers, the serpent wasn't a tempter pulling humanity into sin. He was a liberator, offering the one thing the jealous creator God wanted to keep from them, gnosis, knowledge.
Eventually, Gnosticism was hunted down as a heresy and brutally suppressed by the mainstream church. The official story is that it was wiped out. But did these incredibly powerful and secret ideas ever really disappear?
Well, some researchers have put forward a fascinating, though controversial, theory that Gnostic ideas didn't die, they just went underground. This theory draws a hidden line connecting the Gnostics of the ancient world to the strange heresies the Knights Templar were accused of, and maybe even to the esoteric symbols used centuries later by groups like the Freemasons.
For example, one of the wildest accusations against the Templars was that they worshipped this strange idol head called Baphomet. Some have suggested that this idea, whether it was true or not, has Gnostic fingerprints all over it, this idea of a symbolic head that represents secret wisdom, or gnosis. Now, it's a very debated link for sure, but it really speaks to the powerful mystique these forbidden ideas have always had.
So when you boil it all down, here's what you need to remember. Gnosticism was never about trying to fix this world or making peace with its creator. The whole point was to escape it entirely. It was a path of radical introspection, a quest to find that divine light not somewhere out there in the heavens, but trapped deep inside yourself.
And that's really the thought I want to leave you with. The story of the Gnostics is like a whole alternative history of human thought that was almost completely erased. It just makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other secret histories, what other forgotten ways of seeing reality are still out there, buried, just waiting for us to find them?